Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to talk about my goals. Every month I sit down and chat with you about my personal goal journey, all the goals that I set, what my action steps are, and how they go every month. And I feel like these videos are super helpful for me personally. I almost always get something out of talking about my goals, but hopefully it's helpful for you as well, even if your goals are different than mine, to see what my journey is like and all of those things. This is gonna be the last video this year that is exactly like this. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about my October action steps and how they went, and then I will talk about my November action steps and what I have planned. I am not setting personal goals in December. I actually talked all about that on a live chat, all about no goals December. I do go live every week on Wednesday with a topic of choice and then open it up for Q&A if you're interested in joining us live on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern or catching the replay. But one of my recent topics was no goals December. I will still have a December quote unquote goals video where I will reflect on these November action steps and then talk a little bit more about how I'm tackling no goals December, like as it is starting, but getting a little bit ahead of myself. I think I'm just like antsy because this is the last video of this exact format for this calendar year. And there will be lots of goals content coming in November and December as we start to prepare for the new year and Vlogmas, but none exactly like this. So let's get into it. I'm excited because I picked quarterly goals for Q4 that I talked about in the last goals video, where I also talked about these October action steps. And I was very thoughtful with them about quarterly goals that could be done in essentially 2 months, that I would feel good about where I was at over the course of 2 months. And even though October from a commitment standpoint was incredibly intense, and it's still not over, I'm recording this video on October 24th, Thursday the 24th, I feel so good in general about where I'm at with these goals, and like the action steps I picked for November feel good for November, and barring any unforeseen chaos in November, which could always happen, I feel like I'm gonna be in a good place. But okay, again, actually that's what that video will be. Oh wait, no, I guess that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Normally I don't do my like Q4 goal recap until the end of December, but I guess it might make sense for me to do that as part of the November goals. I need to think about that a little bit more. That's something that just came to me. Okay, I'll figure that out later. Let's talk about October. So I only had 3 one-time steps for October. Again, October had a lot of commitments, a lot of travel, 2 weddings, 2 football games, just a lot going on. And so I wanted to keep things simple, especially for one-time steps that were going to take a significant amount of time. The first one was the biggest of one of those, and that was to organize my December daily supplies. And I did that. There's a vlog coming in a couple of weeks that shows you that entire, like what it ended up looking like at the end. But it took about 3 kind of sessions, like an hour-ish session. So maybe like 3 hours total, which is probably what I could have estimated. I think there was a scenario in which I thought maybe doing a little bit every week would have been helpful, but instead I kind of did it over the course of a couple days, but in a couple different sessions. But it feels good. I got that one done and that feels really good. In full disclosure, I actually postponed recording this video yesterday to finish that task, not because I didn't think I could talk about it without having finished it yet, but I just also was in a place yesterday that I was like, I don't feel like filming this video. So I finished the organizing yesterday and now I'm filming this video today. The next one-time step was to play 1 game, and I put this down as a step to encourage me in a scenario where I wouldn't have considered playing a game to play a game. And so I feel like I cheated a little bit because when I made this step, I completely forgot about this commitment, but we actually had a couple friend come stay with us one night in October, and we almost always played games with them. And so of course we did while they were here. And so I like probably subconsciously knew that one was gonna get checked off, but whatever, I still did it. And then the last one was to clean up my current meal list, and I did that. I deleted the ones that just don't work for our family right now and stopped trying to like make a, what's that phrase? Like a round peg in a square hole, or vice versa. There were meals, recipes on that list that worked for us at one point in time, and because of varying things, like it just doesn't anymore. And so I cleaned up that list. All right, moving on to the weekly task. Now for weekly, I was a little bit ambitious, but there's only one of these that I feel like I kind of didn't do a great job of. And so again, feeling really good. The first 3 were to get a workout in, and I have it as 3 separate things. The first 2 weeks, I only did 2, and it is what it is. And then the last 2 weeks, I've gotten all 3 in. Again, it still feels right to me to have them broken down that way. And even though I didn't hit all of them, I feel good about that goal. The next one is the one that the only one on this entire sheet that I feel like didn't go great in October, and that was to do a face mask. And here's why. The face masks that I have in my current possession, I did a huge face mask declutter when we moved. So the only ones that I have two, they're both like purifying type face masks. And they're ones that I feel like I have to do in the bath. I'm not gonna like sit in my bed or like on the couch with like a mud face mask or the purple one from The Ordinary. Like, I just feel like I have to use them in the bath. And so, but that's fine. In my head, I was like, that's fine. I will link the face mask to taking a bath. Well, because of the chaos of October, taking a relaxing bath did not happen. Like, if I took a bath in October, it was like completely functional so that I could shave my legs. So that did not go well. I did a one face mask so far, and I may get another one in. Like, you can see I haven't checked it off for this week, and maybe I'll get one in next week. I am still treating next week as October. Yeah, I think so. I hesitated for a second because my goals are set and I feel excited to move into November. And one thing you'll notice about the Goals with Laken planner is that I do include the end weeks on both months because I want you to be able to make that decision. Like next week, November 1st is a Friday. That's almost half the week. Depending on when your weekly goals are, if all your weekly goals are weekend stuff, you might want to start your November goals next week. And part of me thought about that for like a split second because they're already set, but we're actually traveling this weekend and don't get home until Monday evening. So I'm gonna wait and start my November goals the following Monday. So we'll still work on all these weekly steps next week, but the face mask one, it just didn't really happen. I am sort of carrying face masks over. I'm doing face masks over to November, but you'll see how I'm doing it a little bit differently. That hopefully makes things a little bit easier. So the next one was to organize weekly. And this one I knew I may not do it every week because the goal was just to get everything organized. And if I did it a little bit every week, then there was a place for me to get that check mark and see that progress, but I didn't start it till the third week, and that's totally fine with me. The next one I'm really excited about. So I talked about this a lot in the quarterly and October goals video, that I had this vision of like deep cleaning our apartment before the new year. And I was going to do it on this 1 week that we had a trip planned that got canceled. And I finally said, like, hold on, you don't need to do it in 1 week. Why don't you take that goal? And I had broken our apartment down into 8 areas, and I am going to do one per week until the end of November. And I am totally on pace to do that. I've done half of it. I've done 4 of them. Now I have left off likely the biggest one. I feel like I tackled 2 of like the 3 smaller ones and like 2 of the other big ones. Well, yeah, maybe I've done 2 big and 2 small, and then there's 2 big and 2 small left. But to me, the kitchen feels like the most overwhelming aspect of that goal. I'm like looking at the list, but that will be November Laken's problem. So in October, I did 1 a week, and it feels really good. And then the last one was to update the meal list as we go throughout the month. And as I do recipes each month or each week, I update the list with whether this recipe still works for us. Is there any, like I use a lot of recipes from the internet, but I tweak them to make them work for our family. Or I will add things in, like sometimes the time estimates are just totally off. Or I'm like, you need to make sure that, you buy this, that, and the other. 9 times out of 10, it's like add an onion. In my notes, because an onion is just easy and it makes everything better. But anyway, I did that almost every week in October. So again, even though I had a lot of weekly stuff and a busy month, I feel like it was really good. I apologize in advance for this video. Some months I am like, this did not go well and I did not hit everything. And this is one of those months that I'm like, dang, I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of myself. So let's move on to the daily steps. The first one is water, which is also my last 100 days goal. So I actually started really focusing on this goal the last week of September, and I am gonna carry this one all the way through the end of the year regardless, but I feel really good about this. It doesn't maybe look like that on paper. I've hit it like 60-ish% of the time, but I know that the days that I'm not hitting it, it's not like I'm getting 0 water. I actually don't even have my water handy right this second, but my goal is to hit 3 of my water bottle, which I think is a 24-ounce bottle. I think so. And it's the Awala, the average regular sized one. Oh, it's always funny when my mom and sister are over because my mom also has the regular one. Lila has like the baby kids one, and then my daughter. And then my sister, Allie, has like the large one. And it's like the whole Awala fam. Anyways, The days that I don't hit 3 and I don't get that check mark, I know I get at least 2. And then sometimes I even get part of that third one. I just don't get that full check mark. And so that feels really good. The next 2 daily steps also have been going really well. So the first one, they're both related to my skincare goal. And I had 2 different components to doing my skincare in the AM. There is right when I wake up, I like to clean my face with just micellar water. It just feels good. Gets like the sleeping gook off of my face. And then I spray this moisturizing facial mist. I'm sure it does a little bit of something, but mostly what it does, it makes me happy and it feels good. And it smells amazing. It's the Pixie brand from Target. I love it. So I've been doing that for a very long time anyways. And so that one I knew was going to be quote unquote easy. Like that was going to be one that I probably would not have to try very hard. And truthfully, I can't think of any times this month that I like contemplated not doing it, but knowing it was on my goal planner, I did it anyway. Maybe it happened like subconsciously. And then the handful of times I didn't do it, truthfully, were because I got ready right away. Like I woke up and immediately got ready for the day. And so there was no like opportunity to do that, if you know what I mean. It like that piece of my routine only makes sense if I'm not immediately leaving the house. And all of the 5 times I didn't do it in October, I know off the top of my head, all 5 of those days I immediately left the house for something. So in my mind, 100%. And then the other one was to do the second part of my AM skincare. And so that to me is some sort of hydrating serum. I have 2 versions. I use a lot of stuff from The Ordinary well, I'll tell you the other piece of it in a second. So I have 2 different serums from The Ordinary. Both of them are a hyaluronic acid, but one works better under makeup and one doesn't. So if I was doing makeup that day, I would put on the thinner one. If I was not doing makeup, I'd put on the thicker one. And then my moisturizer, which same thing. If I am putting on makeup, I use the CeraVe from Walgreens, like just basic CeraVe blue with like a pump. And then if I was not putting on makeup, I've been loving actually the Trader Joe's day and night, it was like a 2-pack cream. I've been loving that. But it's a little bit thicker. And so if I wasn't putting makeup on, I would put that on. And then regardless, I would put on sunscreen, but kind of the same thing. I still love and swear by the Supergoop matte. I have more oily skin. I love it. And under makeup, it's beautiful, but it is pricey. And so I also went ahead and bought the dupe for the Supergoop from e.l.f. And I use that on days that I'm not doing makeup and I'm just like doing my skincare. And that one was pretty good too. I missed a handful of days here or there. Like I couldn't even tell you what was going on those days and why I missed those 4 days. But frankly, like only missing 4 days out of 24 feels pretty good. So excited about the progress on that goal. Y'all, I feel like I need a sip of coffee. I just feel good. I feel good about October and I'm excited, and let's move into November. From a commitment standpoint, November is still busy, but different busy than in October. In October, I personally was out of town 3 of the 4 weekends and had a lot of other commitments and a lot of things going on. In November, I'm not going anywhere. I am not leaving the city of Chicago in November, but we have a lot going on. We have company coming. When I say the first weekend, I don't actually mean the first weekend in November because in my mind, that's still in October land. But like the 8th and 9th, we have company coming. And then my husband's going to be out of town the next weekend. The next weekend, I can't remember. I feel like there's something else big going on that weekend, like November 23rd. And like then it's Thanksgiving. But I'm actually not going anywhere. And so I think I have more goals, obviously, in November than I did in October, but I still feel really good about them. I still feel like these are really reasonable and attainable, but will get me to where I want to get for my overarching quarterly goals. So let's talk about them. Starting with the one-time steps, this is where I moved face masks to. So instead of setting a goal to do it every single week, I set a goal in November to do it twice total over the course of the month. I just wanted that kind of flexibility. Maybe I end up doing 2 in a week. That is probably not the scenario because of the type of face masks that I have. Like that's probably not good for my skin to do them in the same week, but more so, I don't want the pressure to do it every single week. I want the opportunity to do it when it makes sense. So that feels good. That feels like a good drop down where I'm still making progress. I'm still prioritizing my skincare, getting in a face mask, but 2 per month as opposed to 4 per month. The next one is related to December daily, and that is to finish 2023. I have feel like I've talked about this at length, but I did not finish my 2023 album, which was the first time since doing December Daily that I didn't finish one. And understandably, I had a small child. I was doing Vlogmas with her and it was getting used to that, and December Daily just got pushed to the wayside. And so my goal for November, October, I got the supplies organized. November, I'm gonna finish 2023. You'll see further down another step I have to help me with that goal, but this is like the one time once it's done, I get that final check mark. The other December Daily related action step that I have for November is to participate in the prep day. Now, when I say participate, I am not actually participating on the day that they're having it. I have a conflict that day, and truthfully, even if we were home, I just am not at a place in my life anymore where I feel like I can lock myself in my office for 8 hours and just participate, which I totally used to do. And I used to use that time to organize my supplies and do lots of stuff and open my box and all these things. What I want to do, and it would benefit me to break this down somewhere else and have it like a sticky note of it, is I want to just watch all the videos from the prep day. I'm gonna buy it, it's $5. And you get tons of videos and tons of downloadables. And my goal is just to watch them. I am hoping to watch them while I actually work on my 2023 project just to get inspired and motivated. But that is the overall one-time step is to just get it done. I didn't break it down further in any other sections like the weekly or the daily because A, I think I might do it while I'm working on 2023 and that's already a step. And B, maybe there is a scenario where I do a lot in one day, right? That I do have a day where I spend, like when the weekend my husband's out of town, maybe I spend all of Lila's naps that weekend doing the prep day and I get most of it done in one single weekend. Like maybe that's the scenario. So who knows? So the next one-time step is related to playing games. Now, before I tell you what it is, I did get specific because I know games are going to get played in November. There's going to be family time. There's a couple family events. It's Thanksgiving. Like there's going to be like games will get played. So if I just wrote play games, I knew I would totally just get that check mark from an easy place. So I thought about what is it about playing games that I really want to do? What is it that I want to do differently than what I've done in the past or just like happen to play games when I'm with my family? And so what I wrote down was play a game with, I only wrote the letter S because I couldn't fit his whole name, with Sam, my husband. We have a good number of games for 2 players here at our house. And so I want to take the opportunity at some point in November, whether it's after Lila goes to bed, during one of her naps on a weekend time, at some point that we play a game, just the 2 of us. That is my goal in November. All right, the next one-time step is cheating a little bit. So the overarching quarterly goal was to prep the house for 2024. Like that's what I wrote. Yeah, prep home for the new year. And that was really just related to that deep clean, 1 area per week. But I want to start my goals in November, and not because I feel like you have to start your goals in November, because you don't, but I want to start them before, like I want to do my goals before I walk you through your goals. In the past, I haven't done it this way. Sometimes I've done some of it, but this year what I'm really trying to do is like 1 and then 1. So whatever session I'm going to be teaching that weekend, I want to do my goals first. Which reminds me, if you are interested in my goal planning workshops for 2025, the dates are there. You can click the link in the description box for the save the date for the workshops. There's going to be 3 workshops. The first one is all about reflecting on 2024. Workshop 2 is going to be prioritizing and figuring out and defining our goals for 2025. And the third one is breaking down our goals for 2025. But all that information can be found in the description box if you're interested in joining us. That said, I need to start mine in November. Like at least all I put for the step was start my goals. I need to at least start mine in November so that I can stay on pace with the workshops that start December 1st. And then the last one-time step was a realization I came to this year. And I mentioned this on a live, but if you don't watch the lives, or you may have forgot because we've all slept since then, I have decided to move my recipes from their current home. So right now, all my recipes are stored in Plan to Eat, which is a platform that you can add recipes to. You can pull them in from the internet, or you can add them, type them in yourself, and then you can generate grocery lists that like combine things together, combine with your own list, all kinds of really cool features. And there was a point where we were using it and it was really, really helpful. For a handful of reasons now, it is not the most helpful for our family. just given where we're at right now. And my subscription renews on Black Friday because that's the first time that I bought it. And so I have decided that I'm going to cancel that subscription for next year and just take a break from Plan to Eat. I'm not using the features that it has right now. It literally is a home for my recipes, and there are 1,000,001 free places I can store the links to the recipes that I use. So that is what I'm going to do temporarily. So in November, my one-time step is to get my recipes from my Plan to Eat account into something else. Now I'm leaning towards a Google Doc, but I am potentially considering some other spots. But for now, I just need to get all the recipes that I have saved on there, the links for them somewhere else, so that when I cancel my subscription, I'm not like losing all those recipes that I've saved. So that is my one-time step related to that recipe goal for November. All right, moving into the weekly steps. I have a lot less weekly steps this month than I did last month, just because I have more one-time steps, and so I wanted to kind of balance that a little bit. Also, none of these weekly steps are new. They're all steps that I had last month. I just put a slight tweak on some of them. So the first 3 are related to working out. But one of the things that I really want to do, and I tried this a couple months ago and it didn't go very well, and so I'm trying it again because I have actually changed when I do my workout, which is why I think this will work a little bit better. And that is to get specific about the types of workouts. So in October, when I had 3 workouts, it was all just a strength workout. It was a 10-minute Peloton strength, and that counted for me. My goal in November is to still do 2 of them as a strength workout, and then do 1 ride, 1 actually getting on the bike. And yes, I did try this August, September, one of those months. But at that time, I was still working out, waiting to work out until Lila woke up. And it was working for us. And then some things changed and I decided it's not working for us anymore. And in order to commit to this, I need to do the workout before she even wakes up. And so I think that will make actually doing the ride a little bit easier. So the goal in November is just do 1 per week. That's it. 1 ride per week. 1 like small ride, like short. I'm not talking 45-minute Hamilton rides. And then the last weekly step is just to do 1 area a week. And as long as I continue on this path of doing 1 every single week, I will get till the end. I did share this on one of the weekly lives where I share my goal updates, but I made myself a little sticky note that's got all the areas. I did not even plan this on purpose, by the way, to do the ones on this side and not the ones on this side. But like I was talking about, the living room is actually, even though it's a big room, it's not that intense because it's just not that intense. Whereas Lila's, and then the hallway is also not that intense. Lila's room and the kitchen are going to be the bigger ones for this particular month, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling good about it, and seeing the progress is really helping. So last but certainly not least, my daily steps. Now I have filled in every single daily step, all 6 of them, but once again, none of them are technically brand new, and only 1 of them is large. And 3 of them are literally carryovers from October. I am just including them because I want to keep up that momentum. When I get this question all the time, how do I know when I'm ready to take the habits off my list? How do I know whether or not to carry them over? I wish I could give you this perfect formula. I wish I could tell you like when you hit 73%, like then you take it off. Like it just doesn't work like that. And I always just tell you, if you have the space for it, carry it over. That way you can keep tracking it off and keep that momentum going. Or if you don't have the space or you feel good about it, try it, take it off, and you can always add it back on. So I kept AM1 and AM2 skincare, even though they went really well and I feel good about them. Like I don't feel like there's any reason in November that I'm going to fall off from those. Now, December, once Vlogmas starts, that's a totally different story. But why not? Like, why not carry them over? I have the space and I'm going to feel that momentum and that accomplishment when I check those off in November. I feel like I keep mixing up the months. However, the one new skincare thing I added was my PM skincare. And when I say that this is not brand new, there are nights that I do my PM skincare now. Like I'm not putting this down saying I never do my PM skincare routine. My goal in November is to do it more nights than not. That's the dream. I need it to be above 50% because I don't think we're at that now. So I'll be really curious to see where this is at the end of November. And it's not even that intense of a routine, but it just needs to be something. And then of course I carried over water. Because that's my 100-day focus, that one was still going to go on my list. And then the other daily habit related to my like physical health goal, what did I call it? Take care of myself, is to just go on a walk. Again, we do this most days. Most days in the mornings, Lila and I go for a walk together. Like that, a lot of times we're going to run some sort of errand, but we at least get out of the house, we get some fresh air, we get some vitamin D first thing in the morning, and it's great. I just want to make sure that I'm continuing to encourage myself to do that. It's gonna start to get a little bit harder. I say this as it's like 70 and beautiful outside, but it is going to start to get colder. It's going to require some more layers for both of us, and a little bit more barrier to entry when it comes to like getting out of our pajamas and getting real clothes on and getting out. And it doesn't have to be in the morning. I'm not saying like walk in the morning. I just need to walk at some point that day with more intention than just like, you know what? No, that even if we're gonna like go out to dinner and it's a 10-minute walk to the restaurant, that counts. As long as I walked at least, let's call it 10 minutes total. So even if it's a 5-minute errand away from our apartment, 5 minutes there and back, that counts. 10 minutes total of walking outside counts. And then the last daily item, which is definitely the most intense, and again, not brand new, but still a lot, but also not necessarily something I'm concerned about doing every single day, is December daily. So in an effort to finish my 2023 album, I have it set as a daily goal. I don't need to do it every day to finish. I have 14 days left. I can't even remember. I got through day 11, and I do typically do Christmas. So I guess I have 14 days left to do. So I don't even need to do half. But what I want to do is get credit. And the days that I work on it, I want to check that off and see that progress that I'm making as I'm working up to that one-time step of finishing the entire album. So I made it as a daily goal, even though it's not necessarily something I'm trying to do every single day. And that's it. Those are all of my goals for November. I am incredibly excited. I feel like, again, it feels like a good number of goals given everything going on in November, but also exactly what I need to finish my quote unquote Q4 goals. So I am excited. If you watched all the way to the end, if you would please comment below with a tennis shoe, like a sneaker emoji. What do you even, let me know also what you call them. Do you call them sneakers, gym shoes, tennis shoes? I did this really fun, there was like a New York Times quiz one time, which was like, where are you from based on like the words that you use for stuff. It's very interesting. If I can find it, I'll link it. Anyway, if you made it all the way to the end, please comment with a sneaker emoji. And if you're up for it, I would love to hear about a goal that you're excited about for November. Let us know down in the comments so we can cheer each other on. And that is gonna be it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. What? That was awkward. I feel like I'm just rambling. And last words. Maybe, I feel like I was like yawning while I tried to say that sentence. Are literally carryovers.